What's up, Spotlight Omaha? Seth here, Gallivant's here to promote their new album coming out January 5th that is still currently unnamed, so we're going to come up with a name today.
That's the goal.
Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it.
For sure.
So, I haven't gotten a chance to get to know you guys before. Like, I've seen a couple of your shows, but haven't gotten to meet you in person yet, so it was good to have you guys come in. Yeah. How would you describe Gallivant to somebody who hasn't heard you guys before?
I'd say like riff-based, party rock, prog aspects, rock and roll. I don't know. That's kind of what I throw out there. There's a lot going on.
It's always a story when we describe it.
Yeah.
It's never just two words.
There's a lot going on.
So give me the story. We got plenty of time there.
Kind of, he had the start of the story. He had the intro.
Oh, we all got like different influences
For sure.
when we first like met each other. So like Sam has a lot of the classic rock, you know, and that definitely comes out in his solos. And then Josh he was into metal,
death metal,
but now he's into like the hip hop. So he's got that crazy hi-hat going.
He jumped over.
It's a mix of things.
Yeah, you know.
I carry the beat.
I like the funk, so slapping it every now and
Popping
then,
it.
popping it every now and then.
He plays the bass. If you
But
didn't
you
know.
know,
The bass, that is.
I play the bass. Yeah.
That actually leads me into a good question. Are we missing anybody? Is it just the
This
three
is us.
pieces?
No,
This is
this
the
is
three
just us.
piece.
What are you guys
Power
playing?
trio.
We got bass, drums, and
Guitar.
Guitar.
You nailed it.
Guitar. Is it guitar lead vocals, bass lead vocals?
Yep, but kind of swap back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I
he
do
sings
like
with
background
as well.
harmonies,
Three
kind
part.
of trade off
That's
and
another
stuff.
thing. We like the Eagles and the Beatles, all those 3-part
A lot of
harmonies kind of stuff.
harmonies.
Yeah, I love harmonies.
Good deal. Good
Yeah.
deal. We don't see a lot of that. Well, not as much.
Sure,
I would say.
Sure.
Especially, I mean, like they almost had multiple lead singers.
I know. That's kind of
Eagles, Beatles,
That's what you could
most
say.
other animal band names.
right. Yeah,
All had multiple harmony.
You
lead
could say
parts.
that's what we are. We switch off songs
Yeah.
and sing
Good deal.
leads different.
So describe your live show. Is it like you call it party rock? I mean, are you, like how? I mean, I know you guys have been a band for a pretty decent amount of time, so
Sure,
you've
yeah.
been able to develop.
Yeah.
Like, is there a? Do you guys slip into a different persona when you start playing up on stage, or is it?
I say it's super like emotional and like we really try to drag people in. You know, we get really intense with our shows. Other times it's like party the whole time. So I mean, it just depends on the vibe of the room.
Just
what
kind of
everyone's
like
feeling.
Yeah, I think the big thing is like the feeling, kind of feeling out the room and just like bringing some sort of emotion into a space with so many people, and then just kind of like vibing on it. And people, whenever like we bring those riffs and people are banging their heads, that's like
Yeah, we like dropping the riffs hard so
Yeah.
people headbang or get into it.
Yeah.
We don't really have much moshing or anything like
Yeah,
that,
but-
but we have before, very rarely.
some thick riffs.
We've had 60-year-old people dance to our music. We've had 5-year-old kids dance to our music. So
Everyone
the
can
mosh
party
pit
with
kind of
us.
dropped off ever since Warped Tour started suing people. So
seriously, some venues completely ban that. you
the
know.
tragedy of live music. All right, so be straight up. Out of all of you, who has the best drinking record when you guys are on stage?
I think
We'll
it's
give it to
him.
Joe.
Don't tell my mom.
Does mom come to the shows?
Occasionally, you know, I'm usually
Sometimes.
good when she comes to the show.
Are those the sober shows?
Well, you know, I'm not ever really like under the influence on stage. I'd say it's more of after.
The drummer.
Sometimes, I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how like he's definitely taken in the most alcohol while we were playing, because that time that was the 21st birthday.
That doesn't count.
We're
Come
talking
on.
about
That
track
doesn't count. That's
record,
protocol.
track
That is-
record,
yeah, you have
track
to.
record,
Track record, yeah, you could say
track
that.
record. Overall, you've probably consumed the most alcohol on stage. That's just a stat,
What
dude.
about most often? I guess that's probably the better question.
I always have a beer on stage.
Yeah, I have like one.
I drink
mean,
one or two.
I think
while
that's
I'm playing.
protocol, yeah.
That's
I think it's easier for the drummer because you're sitting down.
yeah. Well,
You don't have to rely a whole lot on. Well, I guess you have more
When he
coordination.
stands
with
up,
it,
though,
but-
it's-
I'm like I'm sweating the whole time. I'm drinking my sweat, and I got bounced out with beer.
Eating hair.
Try to get some water. Yeah, throw some
Eating
hair
hair.
in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Well, that's the
still
thing, though.
regurgitating the Taco Bell. It's
You could
It's
go
rough
up
out
there
here.
and you're definitely feeling the influence, and
yeah.
then like 20 minutes into the set, you know, you're completely sober because you sweat it all
Yeah,
out.
and another thing, it's hard to drink if you're just going from song to song. There's not really much time, especially when you're playing and singing the whole time. That's what three of us, we always are playing.
So your guys' live show has a good flow.
We try to.
There's not a lot of dead
Yeah,
space in
yeah,
between.
no.
Like, you gotta-
Talk here and there, especially if there's like a malfunction.
But keep the
gotta
vibe
keep it
kinda-
rolling.
Keep the
you know?
jamming going.
How'd you guys come together?
So I think Sam and I have definitely known us the longest. We met teaching guitar in different small towns in Iowa, and then met at like a fair, where we both did
The
like
Atlantic
this booth.
Fair, Atlantic, Iowa, and we had the same guitar teacher.
Yeah.
And so I had a group in Atlantic. He lived in Red Oak, and I needed a drummer at the time, and
I
he
played
knew how to
rock
play
band.
drums. He played rock band drums, so he taught himself,
Yeah.
self-taught from rock band. So
Yeah.
I called him up. He's like, I guess I'll do it, and he's kind of just been, I guess I'll do it for 6 years now.
We were doing the cover thing for like three or 4 years, and then we
Yeah.
went to college, had a lineup change, and we met Joe at Iowa Western,
College, yeah.
and then we started writing our own music.
Yeah, we just met him too.
Yeah.
And I knew he played bass, and I jammed with him one time on the drums. We didn't even know each
Yeah.
other. We were in the band room because we were all in the band, the marching band at Iowa Western. And
I started off in marching band too.
yeah,
So
it's good to
also
have
on
under your
drums.
belt.
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
so
yeah. We were all. Well, you weren't on the drum. He was in the pit. Whatever, close enough. And then just asked Joe to learn some songs, tried him out basically, and it clicked. Yeah.
now is this the debut album for you guys, or is
No,
this,
this is our
like,
second.
This is the second album.
one.
So where'd you guys record the second one here? Like, did you guys do it yourself, or you?
Cat House Studio.
Cat House Studios in Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Did you guys utilize the same studio that you did for the last album? or was this
The first one was in our basement, and it was just all of us kind of. I mean, he was running it in Pro Tools, and then we were all kind of doing tracking, working on, kind of doing all the small touches together, and sat in the
a long
basement for
process.
hours. and
Definitely,
hours and
definitely a lot more
hours.
stressful. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's been awesome
Not having to
to-
worry about that's great.
Yeah.
So they don't even compare anymore between the recording experience for the last
Yeah.
one.
It
Oh,
was
it's so smooth.
This is we went in there and Mike, how do you say his last name?
Trash.
Yeah.
Dresch. Yeah, he's so fast and he knows
Dude.
like
Oh, he was mixing our
Exactly
songs
what
as
the
he was
hell
we were
recording them.
recording.
So we were like
Yeah,
getting
it was pretty quick.
immediate
Yeah, he's a
results, and
boss.
we were like, this sounds really good.
Yeah.
So
Did you try and keep the album recordings pretty close to the live sound, or did you guys add in a
Yeah.
bunch of extra elements?
We
and-
did like all three of us, drums, bass, guitar. We all the instruments you hear are us playing together live. Like
Sometimes
Oh, so you guys
sometimes
wanted it
even
as
without a
close to
click.
the live sound.
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
could.
you can definitely feel the energy in
Yeah.
our playing together.
did 'em all separate
because
the
we
first
did it
album.
together.
Now we're
Yeah.
starting to see a lot more of that. Where I mean, I know that was how a lot of albums were recorded back in the day, and they would
Yeah.
do fine touch-ups later. But we're seeing a lot more where they're just throwing you all together in the room, micing everything up directly and close, and then
Yeah.
really getting the detail
If
out.
you're practiced up, it's the way to go. But if you don't know your stuff well enough, it's gonna take you way longer.
How many takes did you guys max out on? Like,
We did
what was the
no-
most takes that you did?
No
for a couple
more
songs?
than 3 or 4.
3 or 4
Three or
takes a
four
song.
for each song.
Which is still a lot when you think about it. 'Cause,
It
I mean,
is,
you're going
yeah.
through like I assume you're not
12
doing any
songs.
breaks in the middle of it. Like if you end up messing up, you just start all over
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. There's 12 songs there, right?
12 songs.
12 songs.
One of them's only like a minute, and but yeah,
Right, the rest of them were like 7.
they're long songs. Yeah.
So how do you guys describe the music itself? Like where's the process for writing it come from? What does it feel like to listen to you guys' music?
I think
'Cause if
compared to
it's 7 minutes, I'm
Yeah.
thinking there's some experience.
Roller
in there.
coaster, yeah, up and down,
Yeah.
like from big climaxes to bringing it way down and way back and more melodic, and then we'll bring it way in with like we said, we like to drop the riff in hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Kinda-
what most of the songs are kind of like, but
well, I'd say we
each one's different from the next. They don't.
Yeah.
A lot of our music sounds different from the other. They're not like.
It keeps the same kind of. I think we're finding our sound, especially since we were able to come into the second album and just focus more on playing rather than like
Sure.
the whole process. We are able to just like execute and make our music sound like how we play normally with these songs we just wrote. And then now we're kind of. They all got that sound of Gallivant, but they're each kind of like written a little bit different. Some of them we wrote like a week, the day we were in the studio, and some of them they were just like riffs that we jammed for
2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they finally found a way into a song, and like so each one's kind of got their own way of coming together.
So a lot of they kind of bounce along the boundaries of what your guys'
Yeah.
expectation, like
This-
what your sound normally would end up going.
Sure,
to.
yeah.
So they're all over the place.
This album's all over the place 'cause it's like there was a riff that we wrote when we first met each other. And then it's like we put that in a song up to date. And then I wrote a song like a week before we went to the studio, and I just kind of gave them the idea, and then I said, let's just make it happen in the studio. So that's what we did.
We fleshed
So
it out, and
there's
I
some
think it's
really new stuff and some really, really old stuff.
There's 5 songs I think that we've never performed, so that'll be cool.
Yet.
To,
Yeah.
No, like, how do you guys feel? Like, how do you guys feel kind of morphing into the Omaha scene as opposed to like closer to your hometowns in Iowa?
well, more support for original music for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
good.
kind of a given because
Yeah.
all the small towns,
yeah.
it's just
They want to hear what they want to hear.
sure they want to hear what they know, what they can dance to, what they can get drunk to.
I think we each
Which
kind of tried
you
to
can
do
do
our
it to
own
original
thing.
music. It's just tougher, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe we didn't even give it enough of a shot, but we didn't really start writing the original music till we were up here. So
But getting into Omaha was the goal, and like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
being a part of the
Yeah.
the block that was at least the most close by to you guys.
Totally.
sure.
I remember when playing in Council Bluffs for the first time. Was
Yeah.
like, yes. And
Finally got a show. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
playing
finally
Council
got a
Bluffs
then we
show.
like
on
played
the
there like
strip
twice. So.
on Broadway.
It's cool
In
to.
Council Bluffs.
There's good shows over there too.
Definitely.
We call ourselves Spotlight Omaha, but we actually cover the whole area.
Sure,
Yeah.
it's
Unfortunately-
close enough to where.
Yeah, we don't actually jump over to Council Bluffs, I think, as often as we
Mhm.
probably could.
Yeah.
But I know they used to have more venues back in the day. I know some guys that are like, yeah, there was
Yeah.
venues all on Broadway that were bands would be in often. It's just kind of it's not a dying thing per se, but not as much as it used to be.
I still hear I hear a couple of kids like saying they're going to shows over there, like different places that I haven't even recognized the name of though in Council Bluffs. So it
Sure.
seems like there's like stuff coming up.
Yeah,
like
that's
people
hopefully-
making stuff
hopefully, yeah.
happen, which is awesome to see anywhere, especially with everyone can make music now and like produce it and like get it out there and make a scene. If you just really try, you can make something from nothing.
It's
So,
especially good if you see the demand for it.
Yeah.
is big enough to where, especially if it's a smaller town. Like, I know
Yeah.
Council Bluffs doesn't really count, but for a smaller town, seeing a venue pop up where that's possible is
Yeah,
yeah.
excellent. So for the album release show, obviously, I mean, absolutely, you guys are headlining. But what's the lineup for the main show for the album release?
we got the long-awaited opening.
Cool.
It's their newer rock band. I don't know if you've heard of them. Not.
They're on our radar.
Yeah, and then Freak About from Lincoln. And
Okay.
they wail. The girl singer. They.
I haven't got a chance to see
They're
them
kind of like
yet.
Grace Potter and the Nocturnals with even more heaviness. Her
And
voice is kind of like that.
They're doing bigger
Okay.
stuff too.
Yeah. And they rock, so I figured I'd ask them and then kind of got a show swap on that. So we're going to be at the Zoo Bar January 26th in Lincoln with them. So I said, hey, we'll throw you on the CD release. We come up and do a show in Lincoln.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right, so but no album release can happen without the album actually having a name.
That's true.
So my man Gerald over here is going to write down. So we need to come up with let's say 3 options.
Okay.
3 options to name the thing.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be totally serious, and you can name it something completely different. But our fans will
Quick
be upset.
disclaimer.
It's not album McAlbum
Yeah.
face.
Album McAlbum face. I think that's got to be option
3.5.
That's got to be
Album-
option one there. Yeah.
One. Album McAlbum
That's
face
a
3.5.
solid option.
What's the story behind 3.5?
3's a decent number.
Sounded good.
and,
It's a nice round number.
and I just wanted to mess it up with the 0.5 on the end, you know.
Right. Okay.
All right,
about-
what's
How about since we go
Someone's gonna lose
we
their
go kind
mind.
of Sabbathy, we can do like volume 2.
Volume 3.5.
volume 2?
Gallivant.
Gallivant,
Volume
the sequel.
3.5.
Yeah, the sequel.
Oh,
Kind of like
God.
that. That'd be fun.
Hey,
Yeah,
I've been
that's simple.
really thinking about this all week. So
I know, dude.
I have all these ideas, but
Give
I
me
don't
give me
know.
like one of the main rejects that comes to your
Oh,
mind,
the
like, right off the
reject?
bat. Like
The-
absolutely not. There's no way. And then we'll have people vote on that one.
I was gonna Mermaid Surprise.
Mermaid surprise. All right.
I just made, I really just
3 options.
I made that up. I really just made
Mermaid
that up.
Surprise.
I swear, I wasn't thinking about that.
Gallivant. What was the?
No, we had Mermaid surprise,
Surprise.
album McAlbum face, and 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
3.5 for the
It's your
second
second album,
album.
but it's
Second
3.5.
album, called 3.5.
Well, if you think about it, we did have an EP.
True.
We did.
We had one EP at the beginning.
Wouldn't
we
that,
just
make,
released
wouldn't
a
that technically
single.
make this 2.5 if you had an EP before that?
Like the purple album,
Yeah.
and have it be like white.
But we
like
came
that.
out with a
That'd be
couple. No, we had
great.
2 EPs. We had the first EP.
Yeah.
We did.
So
So 2 EPs makes at least one full album.
So this is the third.
that's true. I don't know how
But
to
it's
count.
so many songs, it's like another half album.
There you go.
There you go. 3.5.
And they're longer.
That's right.
Yeah.
You had some longer ones in there.
That's right.
That's
All right.
right.
I think we're solid.
All right, 3.5.
We're gonna get an acoustic performance out of you guys too. So let's
Sounds
kick
good.
that off. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
and
for having us.
vote on those names.
January
Do
5th,
it.
waiting room. CD release.
January 5th, waiting room. That what day is that actually of the
It's a
week?
Saturday.
That's a Saturday. What
Yeah.
time should people start showing up?
8.
8 o'clock.
That's when the doors will
You
open.
gotta stay
Awesome.
later.
Yeah, we're
Stay
last.
for the whole thing.
Yes, please, always. Always stay for the whole
Always stay
show.
for the whole thing.
Yes.
All right, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank
let's get some tunes out of you.
Sweet.
All
Thank
right.
you.